Jokic, let me tell y'all something.
First and foremost, the big topic of the day. Nikola Jokic. Officially now, Jokic will not be participating. We didn't quite know what the status was on this.
Jokic had an historic run. First player ever in NBA postseason history to lead in total points, assists, rebounds.
The level of faith they had in them, the level of patience, their player development department, obviously is also a testament to him because
he's the best player in the league.
Nikola Jokic has been the NBA's best player for the last couple of years now. He won 2 regular season MVP awards in a row. And last season, he officially ended all discussions by winning both an NBA championship and the Finals MVP award as well. The next big challenge ahead of the Joker is success with the national team, but unfortunately that won't happen this summer because the Joker decided to skip the 2023 World Cup. After winning the 2023 NBA championship and being named the Finals MVP, everybody, especially Serbians, were waiting for Nikola's appearance in the World Cup. Being 28 years old, the Joker is just entering his prime years as a basketball player, so every game is a new opportunity for us to watch him perform at the highest level. But the Joker has decided not to participate in the World Cup. The former NBA MVP will focus on rest and recovery during the summer as he prepares to help the Denver Nuggets challenge for a second straight championship next season, causing some furious reactions from his Serbian fans. Without the Joker, the Serbian national team will be missing their best player in the World Cup. However, the Denver Nuggets will likely be pleased that their franchise player is prioritizing further success with the team and is taking the necessary steps to protect his body heading into another grueling NBA season. Let's look at some of the reasons why Nikola decided not to represent Serbia in the 2023 FIBA World Cup. One of the possible reasons is the previously mentioned priority for Nikola, which is battling for the NBA championship once again in the 2024 NBA season with the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are expected to be one of the top teams in the NBA for the next 4 or 5 years, and this prospect is enough to deter their key players from participating in additional competitions during the summer months. Nikola Jokic is 28 years old, Gordon is 27, Jamal Murray is 26, and Michael Porter Jr. is 24. They are in the sweet spot of their careers. They are each signed for at least 2 more years, and even with 3 players on max deals, Denver's salary cap situation is completely manageable under the new CBA. This may be the same reason why Jamal Murray didn't rush his recovery process either and decided not to represent his Canadian national team in the World Cup, despite the Canadians having one of the best rosters in their basketball history. Although Nikola Jokic's game is more relied on his skills rather than athleticism, and probably wouldn't suffer a rapid decline as he ages, the big man still needs to take some time off the courts to recover for the long season ahead of him. The NBA regular season is long by itself, let alone if your team aspires to be a top contender and still be in the championship race during May and June. That's 100 games guaranteed, which can put a lot of pressure on the players' bodies. In the time between 2 seasons, it is well advised that players take care of their bodies and come back fresh for the upcoming season. However, oftentimes there is some sort of international basketball being played, and most players have their off-seasons reduced due to this matter. So, the next question now is whether they are willing to take away time from their holidays and suit up to represent their countries. Reason number 2 is Nikola Jokic's desire to play basketball. Basketball is not my main priority in life. It's just something I am good at. I am just happy for the team. Even after winning the franchise's first NBA championship, Nikola didn't seem anywhere near as excited as when other players win it. The job is done. We can go home now. I need to go home, were Jokic's first words after becoming an NBA champion. The Joker has been in the NBA for 8 years now and is well aware of how narrative-driven the league's coverage can be and how fast-paced its fans can switch from one newsworthy item to another newsworthy item. There's probably some truth in these Nikola Jokic statements. There really are things that are more important than basketball. But it's rare you hear an athlete get so reflective about things like this. Part of it is that Jokic is motivated by things different from just being a competitive guy. His family, as he often mentioned, is incredibly important to him. His wife and daughter, as well as his siblings and their families, are his biggest priorities in life. With the NBA season being as long and busy as it is expected that a family guy like Jokic would want to take some time off and spend every moment he can with his closest people. His brothers, as well as his wife, were his biggest supporters when he first moved to the US and have remained his closest friends throughout his career. His daughter is Jokic's biggest motivation and blessing. After getting engaged, Jokic wears his ring on his shoes during his games, so he feels close to his wife at all times. His wife and daughter are the first people he goes to meet after the games, so you better know that the Joker has his priorities set. Of course, family is very important to Nikola, but that is not the only reason he wants to have the summer off. While being in the US for most of the year, Jokic has admitted that he has been feeling homesick during the season. Coming from such a different culture from the one around you throughout most of the year can be tough. Having the summer free of basketball duties, Jokic can spend his time doing what he loves most, riding horses. In a now viral post-game interview, the two-time MVP, who was also named NBA Finals MVP, was asked by one of the reporters about his feelings now that he's accomplished basketball greatness, specifically about the upcoming championship parade in Denver. "When is the parade?" Jokic asked and was informed that it was later that week. "No," he responded in shock as he sat back in his seat. "I need to go home," he added, grabbing his head. Jokic did make it to the parade, however, and had a blast at it. Even though he had a good time, he still hopped on a plane the next day to go to Serbia and race his horses. Less than a week after winning his first NBA championship and Finals MVP award, Jokic was back in his hometown Sombor to watch his horses race. Appearing in the stands from time to time amid members of his family and friends, he watched every race his family's stable participated in, then disappeared out of sight. He was in the company of his wife and daughter, brother, father, and friends. The crowd erupted with applause and joy when Jokic first appeared, wearing a polo shirt that had the Dreamcatcher inscription after the name of the first horse that he purchased years ago. His father said Jokic wouldn't be answering questions from reporters. "He told me, 'Dad, I have had enough publicity during these past few days,'" his father said, and I believe him. Nikola Jokic is just like the rest of us. He treats his job like a regular 9 to 5 and tries to spend his time off doing the things he loves doing. Not your regular NBA superstar, that's for sure. The NBA teams have been giving out crazy contracts in the last few years. NBA players have been earning hundreds of millions of dollars, settling themselves and their families for life once they get an NBA contract. Even role players have been earning sky-high amounts of money, let alone franchise players like Nikola Jokic. All of this money being handed out, while being amazing for the players and their financial well-being, has kind of made the importance of the game drop down, especially the games representing the national team where players don't even play for money. Jokic's current contract is a 5-year, $276 million deal, making him one of the highest-paid athletes in general, let alone basketball players. With a contract that big comes a lot of responsibilities as well. Having your highest-paid player not be available for crucial games or showing signs of fatigue is not a good thing for any franchise. The Denver Nuggets are probably happy with this Nikola Jokic decision, if they haven't had some influence behind it themselves already. International NBA superstars are usually ones to miss out on international basketball. Luka Doncic is, of course, an exception in this case. But players like Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Victor Wembanyama are a couple of big names that, unfortunately, we are not going to see in FIBA's 2023 World Cup. However, unlike most NBA teams, despite handing out big contracts to their starting lineup, the Nuggets have mastered the art of playing around the salary cap limit by not amassing a bunch of mid-sized contracts around their stars. Denver's 5 starters will make nearly $150 million between them next season, which on its own puts the Nuggets just $12 million from the projected tax line. However, they have no other player earning more than $5 million per season. Instead, the Nuggets have filled out their roster with players on rookie contracts and veterans on minimum or near-minimum deals. Of course, injuries can wreak havoc with the best-laid plans, as this team already experienced when it lost Porter and Murray for entire seasons. Nonetheless, the roadmap is here for an extended run of contention. Nobody can handle the Nuggets' offense. Their best players are just entering their prime years, and their cap situation is set up to keep them around for a while. With the Olympics being right around the corner for next summer, it is still unknown whether Nikola Jokic is going to represent his Serbian national team in the competition. I guess with a guy like him, you never know until the last moment what decision he is going to make. Even this summer, it was not assured that Jokic was not going to play for Serbia until a month before the World Cup started, even though most people were expecting him not to attend. Hopefully, we'll get to see him in a Serbian uniform again, as that is the highest honor in a player's career, to represent your country at the Olympic Games. Whether he will play or not, hopefully, we will get to see a lot more from him in the future as a Denver Nugget. If he doesn't bail from the NBA as well after his contract expires. Jokic is one of the greatest talents in NBA history, but you can never be too sure with the guy until you see him suit up. I guess that's exactly what makes him as great as he is.